Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today, we're going to be diving into something that's been popping up all over, NeuroQuiet.
Oh, yeah.
It's this supplement that claims to do some pretty amazing things for both your hearing and indeed your brain. And let's be real, who couldn't use a little boost in those departments? I know I've had those days where like the mental fog rolls in, or I swear I'm asking people to repeat themselves way more often.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a natural way to maybe sharpen up your hearing and your thinking, this deep dive is for you.
What's really interesting about NeuroQuiet is that it's tapping into this idea of a strong connection between the brain and the ear.
Hmm.
It's not just about hearing louder sounds, but it's about supporting the whole system.
So it's a more holistic approach then.
Exactly. We're going to be looking at YouTube reviews, information straight from the NeuroQuiet website, and even some testimonials from people who have actually tried it. And a few key themes keep coming up. Natural ingredients, some pretty impressive claims about scientific backing, and benefits ranging from better focus and a calmer mind to, of course, improved hearing.
Okay, let's unpack this. First off, what exactly is NeuroQuiet?
It's a sprayable supplement, which is a little different from your typical pill or capsule, and they really emphasize that it's made with natural plant-based ingredients, which is a big draw for a lot of people these days.
Right. More and more people are looking for natural alternatives these days. So how does NeuroQuiet actually claim to work? What's the science behind it?
They talk a lot about the importance of blood circulation, specifically delivering nutrients to both the brain and the auditory system.
Okay.
And this makes sense when you think about it. Those tiny, sensitive structures in your inner ear need a constant supply of oxygen and nutrients to function properly.
So if blood flow is restricted, those cells can't do their job as effectively.
Exactly. And that can lead to all sorts of issues, from difficulty hearing to that annoying ringing in your ears known as tinnitus.
Ugh. Tinnitus, the bane of my existence some days. Okay, so improving blood flow is a key part of how NeuroQuiet claims to work. What else?
They also mentioned that NeuroQuiet can improve neurotransmitter activity, which could explain those claims about enhanced mood and focus.
Okay, I'm starting to see the connection. Healthier blood flow, better brain function, and that could even lead to improvements in hearing.
Exactly. But to really understand how it all works, we need to dig into the specific ingredients.
All right, hit me with the science. What are we talking about here?
Get ready for some scientific names. We've got alpha-GPC, GABA, L-dopamine, Mumio.
Hold on. Mumio. That one's new to me. What is that exactly?
It's actually pretty fascinating. Mumio is the substance found in the rocks of the Himalayas.
Wow.
It's considered an adaptogen, which means it can help your body cope with stress.
So like if you're feeling overwhelmed and your brain is fried, Mumio could help bring you back to a calmer state.
That's the idea. And remember, we're talking about the brain-ear connection. Stress can negatively impact both.
All right, so reducing stress could potentially benefit both your mental state and your hearing.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the other ingredients?
We also have L-arginine and L-tyrosine on the list. L-arginine is known to be a vasodilator, meaning it helps widen blood vessels. This allows for better blood flow, delivering those essential nutrients we talked about. And L-tyrosine is actually a precursor to dopamine, a neurotransmitter that plays a crucial role in mood, motivation, and focus.
So each ingredient seems to have a specific function, but they all work together to support both hearing and brain health. That's pretty cool.
It is. And it speaks to that holistic approach we were talking about earlier. But before we get too carried away, let's shift gears and talk about the actual benefits NeuroQuiet is promising. What can people realistically expect if they decide to try it?
Let's dive into that because ultimately that's what matters most. Does this stuff actually deliver on its promises?
Right. Well, we've been exploring NeuroQuiet, this supplement promising to enhance both your hearing and cognitive function. We've covered what it is, how it claims to work, and the intriguing ingredients behind it. But now, let's address the elephant in the room. Does it live up to the hype?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of buzz around NeuroQuiet, but we need to separate the marketing from the reality. So let's put on our skeptical hats for a minute. Are there any potential downsides or red flags we should be aware of?
It's always wise to approach any health product with a healthy dose of skepticism. One thing to consider is that NeuroQuiet is primarily marketed online. While this is common for many supplements these days, it does make it harder to find completely unbiased information.
Good point. We're relying on YouTube reviews, the company's website, and testimonials, all of which can be influenced by marketing tactics. What about scientific research? Is there any solid evidence to back up NeuroQuiet's claims?
That's where things get a little nuanced. NeuroQuiet itself hasn't been the subject of large-scale clinical trials, which is often the case with supplements. However, many of its individual ingredients have been studied for their potential cognitive and hearing benefits.
Okay, so there's a distinction between research on the specific formula and research on the individual components. Let's break that down.
Mhm.
What kind of research is out there for, say, alpha GPC and GABA, two ingredients we discussed earlier?
Alpha GPC has been studied for its potential to improve memory and cognitive function, particularly in older adults. Some studies suggest it may even be helpful for conditions like Alzheimer's disease and dementia. GABA, on the other hand, is well known for its calming effects. Research suggests it may help reduce anxiety and improve sleep quality.
So there's at least some scientific basis for those two ingredients. But what about the others, like L-dopamine and the intriguing Mumio?
L-dopa is a precursor to dopamine, a neurotransmitter involved in mood, motivation, and movement. It's actually commonly used to treat Parkinson's disease. Mumio is a bit more unconventional, but it's gaining attention as an adaptogen, potentially helping the body cope with stress and enhance cognitive function. However, research on its specific benefits for hearing and cognition is still somewhat limited.
It sounds like some ingredients have more robust research behind them than others. Does that mean the ones with less research are ineffective?
Not necessarily, it just means more studies are needed to confirm their benefits. It's important to be aware of that when evaluating a supplement like NeuroQuiet.
So while NeuroQuiet as a whole hasn't been clinically tested, the individual ingredients do have some degree of scientific backing.
Precisely. And it's also worth noting that NeuroQuiet emphasizes its natural plant-based formula and its manufacturing in an FDA-approved GMP-certified facility.
Wait, what does GMP certified mean?
Good question. GMP stands for Good Manufacturing Practices. It basically means the facility adheres to strict quality control standards set by the FDA. This ensures the product is consistently produced and controlled according to quality standards.
So it's an indication that the company is taking quality and safety seriously.
Exactly. And those factors can be reassuring for those seeking a natural approach to health concerns. But even with these positive points, critical thinking is crucial.
Absolutely. We always encourage our listeners to weigh potential benefits against possible risks and to consult with their healthcare provider if they have any concerns.
Couldn't agree more. It's all about making informed decisions that are right for you. Now let's revisit those customer testimonials we mentioned earlier. We heard from William, the audio engineer, who reported significant improvements in his hearing after using NeuroQuiet.
Right. And there was also Jason, who mentioned experiencing a calmer, clearer mind. And Sabine, who felt a sense of peace of mind knowing she was giving her hearing those essential nutrients. It seems like people are reporting benefits beyond just hearing improvement.
It's interesting how many of the testimonials mention a sense of calmness and mental clarity, alongside improvements in hearing. It does lend some support to NeuroQuiet's claims of addressing both hearing and cognitive well-being.
Those positive reviews are definitely encouraging. But as always, we have to acknowledge that individual experiences can vary.
Absolutely. What works for one person might not work for another, and it's important to have realistic expectations. NeuroQuiet is not a magic cure-all. Like any supplement, it might take time to see results, and some people might not experience any noticeable benefits at all.
That's where the money-back guarantee comes in, right? It allows people to try NeuroQuiet risk-free for 90 days.
That's right. It's a strong indicator that the company stands behind their product and is confident in its effectiveness. However, even with a guarantee, it's crucial to do your own research and make an informed decision that aligns with your individual needs and health goals.
We've been deep diving into NeuroQuiet, exploring its claims, ingredients, and what people are saying about it. But now, let's zoom out a bit and talk about something that often gets overlooked: the connection between hearing health and our overall well-being.
That's such an important point. We tend to think of hearing as this isolated sense, but it actually impacts so many aspects of our lives.
Right. It's more than just being able to follow a conversation or hear the TV. It affects how we interact with the world, our relationships, even our cognitive function.
Think about it now. If you're constantly straining to hear it, takes a mental toll. You might start to avoid social situations feeling isolated and frustrated. And research has even shown a link between untreated hearing loss and cognitive decline.
So taking care of our hearing isn't just about preventing those awkward,
Yeah.
moments. It's about protecting our mental and emotional well-being too.
Exactly. And here's another piece of the puzzle: stress. We touched on this earlier. But chronic stress can actually contribute to hearing problems.
Really. I know stress can do a number on our mental state, but how does it affect our hearing?
When we're stressed, our bodies release hormones like cortisol, which can constrict blood flow, including to the inner ear. Over time, this can damage those delicate hair cells responsible for hearing.
Wow, I had no idea stress could have such a direct impact on our ears. It's like a vicious cycle. Stress can worsen hearing, and then struggling to hear can cause more stress.
Precisely. It highlights how interconnected our physical and mental health truly are. So addressing stress is a crucial part of supporting both hearing and overall well-being.
Okay, so we've established that hearing health is vital and that stress can play a role. What are some things, besides potentially considering NeuroQuiet, that people can do to take care of their hearing and brain?
Lifestyle plays a huge role. A healthy diet rich in antioxidants and omega-3 fatty acids can protect those sensitive hair cells in the inner ear. And regular exercise. It's not just good for your heart, it also improves blood flow to the brain and body, including the ears.
Those are great tips. And they're things we have some control over, which is empowering. What else?
Sleep. Never underestimate the power of a good night's sleep. It's essential for cognitive function, mood regulation, and even cellular repair. And of course, protecting your ears from loud noises is crucial.
That makes sense. Whether it's concerts using power tools,
Mm.
or even just listening to music at high volume, we've got to be mindful of noise exposure.
Absolutely. Noise-induced hearing loss is preventable, so invest in earplugs when you're in loud environments. And be mindful of the volume on your headphones.
So it sounds like supporting our hearing and cognitive health involves a multifaceted approach. NeuroQuiet might be one piece of the puzzle, but it's important to consider those lifestyle factors as well.
Exactly. It's about taking a proactive, holistic approach to our health, understanding that everything is connected.
I love that perspective. It's not just about treating symptoms, it's about addressing the root causes and supporting our well-being from all angles.
And that brings us to a question for you to ponder. If you could optimize both your hearing and cognitive function, what would that unlock for you? What new possibilities would emerge?
That's a great question to leave our listeners with. Would it be deeper connections in your relationships, more confidence in social settings, the ability to pursue your passions with renewed focus and energy?
The possibilities are endless. And while NeuroQuiet may not be the solution for everyone, it sparked an important conversation about the vital connection between hearing and brain health.
And that conversation is worth continuing. If you're intrigued by NeuroQuiet and want to learn more, you can find a link to their official website in the episode description. As always, we encourage you to do your own research, consult with your healthcare provider, and make an informed decision that's right for you. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into NeuroQuiet.